You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to Hello Sport Podcast, home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Back for another week. I believe the date today, Monday, the 22nd of March, 2021. As we come to you now from Bloke in a Bar Studios, absolutely gorgeous surrounds. New South Wales, Australia's East Coast, in the absolute grips of a rain bender, 50-year sort of stuff. We've always loved a rain bender here, usually a Sunday rain bender. This has been about a 10-day rain bender. This is a real rain bender. Obviously, it's nice, but there are some places flooding. Thoughts go out to them. But as I welcome in the king of the rain benders, Edward, please let us know how you've handled what I imagine must, for you personally, have been a fantastic last 10 days of just non-stop, unadulterated rain.
Look, the P's and the D's know, and if they don't already, they should, that me and Rain get on like a house on fire.
Yep.
Now, is that a weird analogy? Maybe, possibly. One's wet, one's fiery. But be that as it may, I've enjoyed every second of it. Now, to your point, my, heart and thoughts go out to those who are legitimately flooding. I think Ivan Cleary amongst them.
Is he really?
He's moved in with Nathan now.
Dad's moved in with
Nathan. Now, we can get to that later in the show, but there's people getting displaced all over this great state. And to them, our warmest, most sincere thoughts.
Yep.
Let's get through this together. But from my perspective, there was no flooding.
Selfishly.
From a selfish perspective, there was no flooding, there was only rain. And to say it was anything other than glorious, Tom, I'd be selling it short because it was fucking tremendous.
It's been lovely. Again, just in the area that I've been existing.
Exactly.
Personally,
in my little area.
In my little enclave of Bellevue Hill, with the greatest respect. It's on a hill, so it's not flooding.
Well, not you're basically at the top of the hill as well, so you're good to go.
Which is nice. But it has been non-stop fucking rain, dude.
Yeah, mate, it has. I think they got like 120 mils on Saturday in Sydney. Do all that?
They're expecting another 150 over today and tomorrow. And then Wednesday or Thursday is predicted to be 30 degrees.
When do you ever go to the app and it just says 100% all day? Just like I'm scrolling and it's like 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. I'm like, holy shit.
You like those numbers, if from a percentage standpoint, you know what I mean? If you're a rain bender guy.
Mate, if you trade exclusively in the currency that is benders of rain, then you're licking your lips, mate.
That's the equivalent to Pornhub saying that 100%, 100%, 100%. You're like, ooh, back to back to back.
Just lining them up.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, perfect. Rugby league all weekend. Like, I had a couple of beers on Friday with a friend of the show, Hamish Street, which, he's called the fighter.
Yes.
So when you're fighting the fighter, it's the fight of your life because the fighter is a fighting man. That's our saying.
That's exactly it.
So, I was in a bit of a tussle with him on Friday, which was good.
Toe-to-toe.
Late, but not too late. But it just allowed me to put the feet up for the rest of the weekend. And
in a rain bender, I like not turning any of the lights on. Like, if you're watching footy in the living room, I like having, socks on, socks on the couch, no lights on, just the TV light.
Play to the natural ambience. Is that right?
Look, I'm going to allow it, but
I don't think that's right.
But it's not wrong.
But you know what I mean? Play what's in front of you.
Yeah, play, exactly.
Eyes up. If it's daytime, play eyes up footy and use the light provided by Mother Nature.
Exactly. Now, speaking of eyes up footy, it was week 4 of my March Madness Buck wedding, final wedding on the weekend.
Are you done?
I'm done now. Shout out to Jack McLennan and Sam, his beautiful wife. Now she's Sam McLennan as well. Great day, night. Thanks for having us. But Jack is one of the more anally retentive individuals who needs to have everything planned to within the nth degree, just hearing about the level of planning that went into this wedding, because everyone bagged him out about it at the wedding. I was like, holy shit. I knew he was who he was, but I didn't realize how much. And I wish that they did a WikiLeaks dump of all the internal emails and spreadsheets that he was sending around about this wedding. But anyway, it was piss and rain. Once in a 50-year rain bender, nothing he could do about it. I was
plan that.
a couple of times during the day, because it was kicking off, it was a Saturday evening and night thing, and I was sitting at home and I just start laughing to myself going, this poor bastard, you can't plan for this one, Jack. But funnily enough, they did send around like a wet weather fucking contingency plan email, like a press release at fucking 7 a.m. on a Saturday.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so that was funny. Like, I mean, obviously for a wedding, you don't want it to be piss and rain, but it was in one sense.
Where
hilarious.
was it?
It was at Centennial Park. They were initially going to be outdoors in the park, and then
That's an okay wet weather venue though.
well, yeah,
Do
it
you know what I
turned
mean?
into
like it's
well,
big
they just
and
bought it inside. You gonna close that door, Dior? Yeah, yeah. They just bought it inside, and it was lovely. It was fine. Shout out to them. Thanks for having me. Funnier part of it was probably the fact that it was the first time. So usually, like, obviously, young father, beautiful daughter Evie Rose. We needed a babysitter. Usually, we just defer to the grandmas. Shout out to Marina and Annabelle. But neither of them available Saturday night. So we were like, fuck, what do we do? Turned to my old man.
Did ya?
Turned to Dad. Dad's never babysat. Dad hasn't babysat a baby since I was a baby. So just to give you context, he hasn't. He's got about 30 years out of the game.
Yeah. Is it like riding a bike?
I don't think so. I feel like it's, or, it might be like riding a bike, but you don't have legs anymore. Like, it was just one of those things. Look, it was fine, but it was one of those things that I didn't realize was such a like, oh, you let your old man do it. Till we were at the wedding and we were like, oh yeah, they're like, hey, where's Evie? I'm like, oh yeah, Dad's looking after her. And they're like, Bill's looking after her. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, right? There's nothing wrong there. Like, surely that's all good. But also in the back of my head knowing like if she kicks off and screams, he's going to be more freaked out about her crying than like, where if I see her crying, I'm like, all right, we'll just calm her down. Whereas he's like, oh, fuck, something's wrong. Anyway.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened. She didn't sleep. But like Dad just, it was, and Steph was obviously a little bit like, stressed, like leaving her and knowing that Evie, she knows Bill, pop, 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 pop every time he comes around. But, like she doesn't know, like he doesn't come around. Like she's looked after by one of her grandmas one day a week, so she knows him very well. She's fully comfortable with him. Whereas Evie trying to get to bed with Pops is a bit more like, oh, I don't know who the fuck you are, or like, and then she wakes up crying. And then Dad's like, oh, I don't know exactly how to get you back down. And then he's sending Steph messages like saying he doesn't know how a sleep suit works. It was like the first conversation I've had with Dad where I'm like, oh, you're old now, aren't you? Like, I feel like 10 years ago, you would have fucking tackled this sleep suit problem on your ear. Like, it would have been like, oh, no, the zip does go down as well as up. It's just a reverse of a zip. But he's like, mate, what the fuck? How the fuck's this fucking zip go down? I'm like, are you serious, dude? Pull it down, then pull the other one. Like, and he didn't know how to do it. And then Evie's crying her fucking eyes out. And then in the end, Steph was feeling a bit crook, and then she went home and she said she just got home, and Dad was like, thank you, lovely to see you. That was hard.
But when she got home, was the sleep suit?
No, the zip was up around her neck. It was
around
his neck. No, he hadn't fixed. No, because the thing is, so the sleep suit, right, zips up. So it's like two zips. Like a jacket, right?
Yeah.
With like jackets, how you've got it, like it's two zips. Probably like maybe, oh no, not like yours. But so what it does is it allows you to unzip it all the way. So it's open, and then you can zip it up from the bottom.
Yep.
And then you can also pull it down, it's open, and then pull the top. Like you can basically zip it up from either end.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And that way it means that the fucking, whatever they're called, the zip buckle isn't up under her neck. It's down at the bottom.
Yep.
Near her feet. But Dad had it up around her neck and he couldn't get it down to the bottom. And I was just like, brother, come on, listen to me here now. Just pull that one down. Now that one's down the bottom, right? It's open. I'm like right, now pull the other one down. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, this is wild. And then he goes to me, where's the like pajamas you left out for her? I go, mate, she's wearing them. I put them on her before I left. He's like, fuck, I took them off her and just put her in something else. I'm like, what do you mean? But she was fine though. Like it was all good, but it was just funny.
Of course she was fine.
Well, of course she was
wearing clothes that.
Well, no, I mean, I don't mean, I'm not like, oh, how's she going to fucking get on not in the right pajamas? I just mean in general. It was just funny. I said to him before I left, I was like, listen, bro, if she doesn't get to sleep, just fucking get her up. Like, there's no way you'll get her to sleep, basically, is if she's not sleeping with you, if you're not prepared to like rock her for like fucking hours, just get her up and just go sit on the couch. And Steph said when you got home, she was just like all puffy-eyed from crying and shit, and just came and like cuddled her. And Dad was like, yeah, it was fine, a little stressful. Anyway. So I don't know if Dad's been sacked.
I wouldn't sack him.
I don't think he's been sacked.
I wouldn't sack him. He's done his best.
Yeah.
30 years out of the game. You've got to cut him a little bit of slack.
That's a good point, Eddie.
He's not a pro.
No. You're right.
He just doesn't do that for a living.
No,
not
he
anymore.
doesn't. No, not anymore. He needs time back in the
He needs
in the
time
box.
back in the slips,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
I don't think that's... I'm not putting a line through Bill. He's done his best.
No, there we go. It's good. Mate, I just need to talk it out with someone. He gets another go around.
He gets another go around, 100%.
If needed. He's better for the run.
Better for the run.
Yeah.
Better for the run. Sounds like a better performance than some on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, does Chad get another go at kicking?
Well, I mean, we're going to have to get to that with old Chad, aren't we? Because that's not the first time Chad's kicked in 30 years. So we'll get to Chad. Some housekeeping, Eddie.
Yeah.
We might be in the glory hole business.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that. But now I
remember.
Now I remember. Look, we may be. We've put an offer down. It's been accepted. Money hasn't been transferred, nor has the product been given to us, the glory hole. So, it is somewhat up in the air, but
I'm pretty much...
If this man from Facebook Marketplace,
Yep.
who has had this thing reconditioned...
He's apparently had it refurbished.
He's had it refurbished, a new stand put on it. Apparently he spent $1,000 refurbishing it, and that's what we've paid him. So he's made nothing, and
He also was trying to sell for like $3,000. So, but
look, I mean, do you reckon he's a little surprised at the marketplace right now for glory holes?
It's not as the glory hole marketplace is. It's not.
He said to himself, "Holy shit, this is a collector's item. There's no more footy show. Kurt Capel's put glory holes back on the map. This thing's worth $10,000." We saw it when he wanted 3.
Yeah.
But I bet you he started at 10.
He could have even started at 10, and then it slowly dropped down to 3. Fatty Vorton glory hole. Listen, we were initially like, no. Well, we were like, wouldn't that be nice to have? But where would we put it? Then, as the days turned into weeks, turned into months, I was like, I'd wake up in a cold sweat being like, what'll I do if we don't have it? You know what I mean? Like, I'll always wonder about it.
Always wonder. What happened to it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Who is
Probably
in it
still
now?
with that guy at the pub in Parramatta.
We also, we look, Scouts Honour, we didn't actually have anywhere to keep it. And then
Scouts Honour.
we might have floated to Den in front of the show that we might leave it here.
Yeah.
In his studio. And I'm not going to say it was the most resounding yes I've ever got in my life.
No.
But it certainly wasn't a no.
Well, I did hear a no, but I mean, I think it was like a no of like, I could have my mind changed.
It was woomy no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Change
like,
my
what do
mind.
I get out of it? No, like a slutty no.
Yeah.
What I mean?
What'll he be doing for me? And you're like, well, you'll get a glory hole in your studio. I think that's the upside to this.
Yeah. And when we go home, you can do whatever you want to it.
Free reign. All we ask, we'll leave some wipes there and like a bit of spray.
Be considerate.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. Bit of respect for us.
Bit of respect.
Bit of respect for the property.
We respect you. You respect us.
We dump a 2 meter glory hole in your office.
I don't know how big it is.
I think it's 2 meters tall. That surely couldn't be it. That's huge.
It's
not that
well,
tall.
it's not that tall. There's people that are 2 meters
Yeah,
tall.
that's what I was just thinking. So it's not tall, but it's tall enough.
Tall enough. Fucking tall enough.
It's look, we'll see. I am picking it up on Wednesday, so we'll work that out.
How are you going to get in the car?
I'm borrowing Jarch's ute.
Oh my God. Wednesday's supposed to be dry.
I don't care.
Well, you should, because if we get it home, it might be a soggy mess.
Well, I hope it's not a cardboard glory hole like Kurt Capewell's.
What's it made of?
I'm assuming metal.
I don't think so.
You think this thing's cardboard?
I don't think it's metal. Do you think it's metal?
Even if it's metal, the paint surely would be affected by the rain, I think.
So maybe I've got to bring a tarp with me.
Let's make smart glory hole decisions.
Yeah, it's
tarp, 100% necessary.
Because this is a business expense, so we need to treat it as such. This needs to be treated as like a valuable asset to the business.
What, you don't think this is a tax write-off, punters and dribblers?
We're writing off a glory hole.
We're writing off a glory hole. Glory holes can be ridden off, and this one is.
We might be the first to do it, but
well, hey.
That's what I'm about that though.
Mate, that's all right.
I want to be the first to do it.
The ATO has given us the green light. It will be written off. The glory hole is a business expense. Now, that's out of the way. Glory holes on roof.
Glory holes.
Yeah. They're expensive.
Expensive.
Tom, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And it's been remodeled. It's been refurbished. It's got a new kickstand.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Shout out to Paul, who is now a glory hole salesman. Look forward to getting it off your bra. I don't know if there's anything else in this intro, Eddie.
No, I don't think
anything
so.
we missed?
No, I don't think so.
Anything else
If we
that's
missed something,
indulgent?
stiff
then
shit.
stiff shit, right?
Stiff shit.
Stiff shit. Let's rip in. So obviously round 2 of NRL is in the books. And by in the books, I mean it's finished.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. It is over.
There's a few things for us to go through, for us to sort of, digest, if you will. And I'm just going to go game by game. Now, we may not hit on every game, but it's just an easier way for me to compartmentalize things in my mind.
Well, it's what you want to talk about.
Now, I feel like, Eddie, you and I are men of honour first, right? Like we're obviously punters, we're dribblers, we're the top of the heap, we're heroes to many, but we're men of honour first. And we have to pay respects to the Parramatta Eels for getting a win over the Melbourne Storm.
We did. Now, who saw it coming? No one saw it coming. No one saw it coming. Not even Parramatta Eels fans saw it coming because none of you said a goddamn word about how you were going to win until you'd won.
Yeah.
You're all weak.
They're weak.
Weak as piss. No one said fucking boo-hoo until you got that W, until the siren sounded.
I tell you what,
That's
the biggest cop-out, and I think Eels fans seem to do it the most, is when they go, like, they'll leave something under a post. This aged well. And I'm like, where were you before the game, you fucking beater?
Why didn't you comment on this?
Yeah. Why didn't you comment on
before
this?
the game?
Yeah, because you got no stones.
Because you got no
no stones.
Now, let's call a spade, shall we? They got the win because it'd been 700 mils of rain and it just tightened the whole affair up. Yeah, it was a great game of wet weather football. I will say that.
It was.
But I stand by my early prediction that they were no chance. The rain saved them. Good on them. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Well done. Great game of wet weather football, though.
Yes, it was.
Tremendous. Really enjoyed it. Compared it to my Oztag game, which was also in the wet.
Yeah.
Where we went down, sadly, last week.
Oh, yeah, you did.
We were up for, 4-3.
4-2? I think
it was up 4-3 with about 5 to play and we lost 5-4. Devastating. But wet weather football punters and dribblers, especially at our level, Div 3, are hard to play.
Yeah.
It's tough to get consistency and continuity and, depth and
expansive.
A lot of fucking people dropping the ball and making mistakes and fucking up. So it's tough. But that game of footy was sick.
Yeah, it was a good game of footy. Para got the win. Melbourne obviously fucking every single multi for the whole weekend.
Sun.
Every single multi.
Mate, sports bet and all the bookies would have been licking their lips. They would have just gone, 99% of multis just went down. 99%. And then they would have seen everyone fucking reload and go again.
Go
again.
again.
Like, beauty.
Love that.
And then they would have, everyone would have did their ass on the Dragons.
Yeah,
in the Cowboys game, not as many, but some people.
But you definitely, I think a lot of people did their ass on that one. But it's early in the season, so it's hard to predict. Now, congratulations to the Eels, Eddie. Does this get them any closer to a pre-Sun implosion premiership?
No, I don't think so.
Neither do I. Thank you. That was all. We don't need to go into it any further. The Sun will die before the Eels win. The comp, that is. Friday. What was it? The Warriors and the Knights.
I liked the Knights before this game. People were like, nah, Warriors. But the Knights are hot to trot.
Knights were good. Bradman Best is hot to trot, dude. He is all shin, tats, and glory. That guy is a motherfucker.
And he bleeds blue.
And he bleeds blue, which is nice. But he's 19. He is just strong as fuck.
Yeah.
I was saying this to someone. I was having this conversation. I can't remember who with, but almost, and this might sound like unnecessarily negative. It's not meant to sound negative because Bradman Best is without a doubt like probably the biggest throbber on the rise. Does seem though like you could almost lock him in for at least one off-field indiscretion in his career. Just off vibe. I get him as a bit of a larrikin scallywag, might fucking,
Well, look, to that point I would say this. Bradman Best, on the trajectory he's on from a footballing perspective, he's got all the hallmarks of, superstar, future superstar. Now, to help get him there, he's going to need an off-field indiscretion.
Yep.
That's just the way it works.
That's the way it goes. He's not going to be taken seriously until
he's not going to be taken seriously, mate. Everyone who's got somewhere in the game has fucked up at one point in their career. Now, there's a couple of exceptions. There's always exceptions to the rule. But if I'm sizing him up, he's from New South Wales. We love
he's a
scallywag behaviour down here.
One-team town.
He's a one-team town. He's on the rise. He's making more and more money. He's tatted to within an inch of his life. He's got the shin tat on the go, which is, the mark of the scallywag.
Yeah.
I think the only thing holding this boy back, Tom, from reaching his potential, from from going from
Scaling the heights.
from good to great is an off-field indiscretion.
Yeah.
Nothing too heinous, nothing too hairy.
We don't want jail time.
No.
We don't want him to get kicked out of the game.
No, we don't want that.
But you know, I'm looking for something from him. looking for something, or at least predicting something. But anyway, absolute animal. Flick pass to Heimel Hunt, and then another one where he broke, like the winning try he set up himself, where he just fucking busted 2 tackles. You're like, Jesus Christ, he is so fucking young and hot.
He is young and hot.
And his head, it might be the most football head I've ever seen. And I don't mean looks like a football. I mean, if you were to show someone what does a football player's head look like, it's Bradman Best's head.
He's got Leahy's head.
He's got a case of the Leaguey's head.
Got Leahy's head. It's a condition suffered almost exclusively by people that play rugby league and that love rugby league, but have been reared on a diet of rugby league.
I also wouldn't say suffered. You're blessed. You're blessed with the affliction.
You're blessed. You're blessed. A lot of Cades have
League's head. Jaden's have League's head.
Jaden's have League's head. 100%.
I mean, and if you call Bradman as your first name, then you can't not have League's head.
Of course you got League's head. Your last name's Best as well.
Bradman Best. So, he's got the most severe case, and severe being positive, severe case
pronounced case.
Yeah, pronounced case of rugby league's head that I've ever seen.
And you know what? I can't get enough of it.
No, I love it. I fucking love it. Send in your leaguey's heads.
Send your leaguey's heads in. Yeah. They're out there. They're everywhere.
Bruh, there's a shitload of leaguey's heads. Tony Carroll had a leaguey's head.
Fucking oath.
Martin Lang had a leaguey's head.
Yeah.
Ooh, Shane Webke had a leaguey's head.
Shane Webke has almost one of the most pure leaguey's heads.
Yeah.
Just in terms of its shape and its
his haircut.
Dimensions and his haircut, which really played to the leaguey's head, which he knew. Like he would have gone to the barber and said, yo, obviously I got a leaguey's head. Let's play with it.
Yeah.
Play with the contours. Not against them.
No, exactly.
And that's what they've come up with.
Enhance this leaguey's head, please. I want you to make this thing pop. And he
Bradman
did.
Best he's got a bit of a Webke.
Bro, well, Bradman Best's haircut is to accentuate his leaguey's head. It's not the Webke. He's got the fade with like a mohawk.
But he's got the fade, yeah. But it's more of a mohawk.
It's like a Dustin Johnson-esque leaguey head haircut.
Dustin Martin.
Dustin Johnson is golfer. But yeah, I mean, Chocky Ducks Watmo had a leaguey's head. Jake Trebojevic has a leaguey's head.
Michael Wayman's
got a leaguey's head.
And Mark O'Mealy.
Mark O'Mealy.
Yeah. Chock Watmo has a great leaguey's head.
Yeah.
And shout out to Chock. He's looking jacked as fuck.
Shout out to Chock, who looks delicious.
He looks nutritious.
Yeah, dude.
Like, if I ate him, I reckon you'd be buzzing.
Yeah, he'd be good for you.
Like, it'd be bad. Like, obviously, then you're a cannibal, but I reckon you'd be high on Chock.
Yeah, you'd be high on Chock, and we talk about natural aphrodisiacs.
Oh, my God. Tell me that bloke doesn't drop panties.
Absolutely, and male panties as well as female panties. What I mean?
Did I?
No, but sometimes I think unfairly panties are exclusively.
Men wear panties, bro.
Yeah, they do. Real men wear panties. Anyway,
always said that.
Bradman Best got a leaguey's head. Great case of it. Chock Watmo, a panty dropper. Eddie's not accountable. Anyway, the Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah, another L.
I
said at the start of the season, I think they'll get the spoon.
Now, is that their 13th straight or their 12th straight? But next week they play the Bulldogs. If they lose to the Dogs next week, they equal the record for the most consecutive losses in the NRL history.
Wow.
So that's 13, I think. And then the week after, if they lose next weekend, then they will 100% get the record because the week after that they play the Storm. So basically, this weekend is everything, and I am on the Dogs.
So this is everything. What a contest! Yeah. Both absolute bush league footy sides, with all due respect.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But Jesus Christ, they were too good. The Titans. David Fafita back to his best.
Yeah, well if it didn't sting enough to have David Fafita score 2 tries on you after you've let him go.
He's got a rugby league head.
He has a rugby league head. Fucking hell.
Holy shit. Talk about leaguey's head.
He's got a serious case of leaguey's head.
Serious case of the leaguey's head.
Which is a good thing.
Great thing. I would say this though, Tom. Now, this sort of took my eye after the Broncos went down for their fucking 12 straight loss. the old boys' day, which was to be held the next day at the race course, I don't know where they were going, Doomben or Gold Coast or whatever, was cancelled. Gordy Taylor's come out blowing up, being like, they're fucking, people high up are people that are
Higher
above
above Kevy, yeah.
higher above Kevy. They've cancelled the race day where the old boys and the new boys get to come together and kumbaya and talk
Break
about
bread, talk about past glory.
and they've gone above him and cancelled it, and they need to support Kevy and all this shit. I'm just thinking to myself, do I only hear about this old boy thing at Brisbane because Gordy is so prominent in rugby league and he talks about it a lot, or is it like a full on thing up there? Because I don't hear this old boy thing talked about at any other club.
I'm trying to work out whether...
What is it about? Were there old boys when they were playing, or was the club so new that they didn't fucking matter, or what?
No, it's a good question, fair question as well, because you're like, obviously you want to have the current players of any club be like aware of the club's past, right? Like the greats, unless you're a team like the fucking, I don't know, the Tigers or the Dragons, where it's like, well, we're actually only like a few years old, so the old boys are still playing.
Yeah.
But like, you want to be able to connect with the past, your history. But certainly there does seem to be like a thing where it's like the Broncos are constantly whinging about the fact that the old boys, the old boys are all whinging that they're not in there. And it's like, okay, well, get the old boys back. I'm assuming some of the old boys are back in the off season. Didn't really make a fucking difference. They still lost 2 on the trot. Now it's early days. But I don't know what you mean. There's a lot of hullabaloo around this old boys gear.
And I don't get it.
No.
Like, what is the relevance? Are you telling me that Anthony Milford, for argument's sake, isn't aware of the premierships the Brisbane clubs won? Of course he is.
Yeah, but maybe not that. Like, I don't know. Are they?
Is him having a beer? Like, what happens at the race day? What happens at the race day? Like,
it's probably just the old boys.
Do the old boys bail them up in the corner and scream at them about?
Well, that's the thing. Is it
how it was done in their day and why they're not good enough?
Is it their opportunity just to brag and gloat about the glory days? This is how you got to do it.
What are they getting out of it?
Yeah.
When they go to this day, like, are they going to try harder off the back of it? Are they imparting wisdom that allows them to go out there and break down defenses and score more tries? Or or
is this just old boys just like wanting to?
Is this a back pat?
Old boys wanting some back pats maybe, because it's like, yeah, like, we get it. You guys were great, and they were. The Brisbane side was fucking phenomenal,
unbelievable.
But also, what has it got to do with anything?
That's what I'm talking about.
Is your back pat from Brodie Croft gonna make Brodie Croft play any better? Because if that was all it took to get Brodie Croft better, then you should have fucking him living at Gordon Tallis' house.
Yeah.
You should have him living with Darren Lockyer.
If patting the back of ex-greats equals W's, then every fucking half in the comp would be forced to live with the club's great.
Exactly. You'd be billeted out to former club greats.
100%. And you wouldn't be able to leave. You'd be kept in a little fucking cage downstairs.
Yeah.
Come up.
You're kept in a cage and the highlights playing like outside the cage.
Exactly. And every couple of hours, every day, you pat the back of the great.
The great, and then
the gods, the rugby league gods, give you W.
Yeah, and you're allowed out of your cage to go train and play, and then it's straight back in
the
place that you're being billeted at. So Lockyer's house,
Joey's house,
Brett Stewart's place, fucking Glenn Stewart, Matty Orford's having you over.
Insert great.
Yeah, insert great here, and then beat a player out to them. So yeah, I don't know with the Broncos, but they suck. And with the greatest respect, Brodie Croft and Anthony Milford don't seem to be up to it.
Doesn't look like they've been billeted.
They have not been billeted out anywhere. They've been rejected by the greats.
Either Darren said fuck off,
you're not coming to my place,
or the billeting system's fallen apart. And maybe that's what Gordy's on about.
What it is.
Gordy was like, this luncheon, this race day is my perfect opportunity for me to vent my frustration about the breakdown of the billeting system.
Maybe maybe you go to the lunch and then a former great just takes one of them home with you. It's like a keys in the bowl situation, but it's for billeting players that can't play rugby league very well.
Now, I'm not going to say Brodie Croft needs to be billeted.
I am.
But I'm also gonna say that it couldn't hurt.
It certainly couldn't hurt. And I'm saying he doesn't even need to be billeted by like an all-timer. No. Like you can billet him, out to like fucking Peter Wallace. Like he can be billeted out to anyone. No offense to Peter Wallace, but I'm just saying you're not Darren Lockyer, bro.
Yeah, and Peter knows that.
Of course Peter knows that.
Peter's the first to know that.
Yes.
Peter played with him.
Can we get bloody, where's Leon Bott? Can we billet out Milford to Leon Bott? Leon's probably still knocking about somewhere.
Leon's still involved in rugby league
Leon would happily have Milf
Leon's still
over.
got Steedens out the back.
Yeah.
Leon gets it.
And Leon can get the Milf round. Like, this is what we did in my 8 games for Brisbane. Fuck, Kempy could billet someone.
Kempy should.
Kempy should definitely billet someone. Poor old Kempy.
Who would Kempy billet?
Mate, Kempy, so they do their rugby league companion, and I fucking had it on was it Friday night, so they were doing it for this game, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but just a couple of times I just saw him, like, the conversations going on around him, it was like Finchy, Rennie Matura and shit, and Justin Horo, and then I could just hear Kempy like, like he's just like sighing as he's watching the game, and they're like talking about something that's happening, and he's just like, kick that, Croft. You should have kicked it. Like, I was like, dude, you poor son of a bitch. Your team just sucks dick.
Well, maybe we should get off his fucking ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And start billeting.
Start billeting someone, mate.
Fucking hell. I mean, you reap what you sow.
Yeah, exactly. You only get out what you put in.
That's right. That's right, Tom.
And from the way, from what we've observed around here, I haven't fucking spotted a Broncos player in here.
I haven't seen one.
Is Milford in here? I haven't seen him.
You got him hidden somewhere?
Is he hidden under the desk?
Where is he? Can't see him.
Nah.
Shit house. Not good enough. Not good enough.
No, not good enough. Not up to rugby league standard.
And you can expect the Eels to continue unless the old boys hop to it
and start, nicking players from the...
Well, that's right. Well, some call it kidnap, others call it billeting. Yeah. Forced billeting.
Yeah, forced billeting. Now, Saturday, Super Saturday, I don't even remember who played. Oh, Panthers pumped the Bulldogs. No one really cares, but now the
Panthers...
First
team in NRL history to hold back-to-back teams to
0
zip.
in the first 2 rounds of the season.
That's right.
Which is a very specific,
but it's what? You're not getting off on that?
No, I like it. I like it.
Stats.
I love stats, but sometimes when the stat goes on too long, the explanation for it, I sometimes find it, like if you go highest fourth wicket partnership in history, I go, that's cool, but it's like highest 4th wicket partnership chasing fucking 200 or more on day 3 of a fucking sunny day. I'm like, okay, calm the fuck down.
Calm down.
So that was the only one with this one where it's like first team to hold the opposition to no points in the first 2 rounds of the fucking season in the NRL era or some bullshit. I'm like, all right. But it was still good. They were playing the Cowboys and the Bulldogs with the greatest respect, who both suck.
With all due respect.
With all due respect.
They did look good, the Panthers.
They did look good. Panthers are humming. Panthers are definitely humming.
Jerome Luai's so hot.
Yeah.
Brian To'o is...
17 tackle busts, I think. I think it was even a Kempy thing as well. We're on his dick today. 17 tackle busts in the first 2 rounds from Brian To'o.
It's impressive.
That is impressive. Viliami kick out, a big, thick Fijian boy.
He's big and thick.
Yeah. Intimidating as fuck. I'm glad that he's gone with the blonde hair for another season. It wasn't just, everyone was dyeing their hair blonde in lockdown. No. I was like, no, stick with this. This is good.
Kick out looks great with blonde hair.
This is good for brand Viliami.
Yeah, but 100%.
Yeah.
And you got to get in with like getting's good. Make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah.
Insert fucking analogy here.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Kick out is putting himself on the map with that hairstyle because he's playing great football, but you got to be noticed.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't have a classic leaguey's head.
No, he doesn't have a leaguey's head at all, but he's got the hair now.
He's got the hair now, which he knows.
Yeah, but now it's more like his head now with that hair is more like, when you see those 30 for 30s and you see like the elite NFL running backs who are like super popular and fucking famous and woo, he's got that sort of a vibe to him now where he's just like hot, top of the game, stud, elite.
Yeah. Like
sought after.
Beckham.
Yeah. Odell
Beckham.
That's exactly it. Same hair. Anyway, Panthers dominated. Bulldogs will beat the Broncos this weekend coming, so it's not all bad for the Bulldogs, but tough start. Tough start. Now we had Manly South. Luckily for me, I've missed the first 2 games. I've had to watch them on phones because I've had 2 weddings. As I said, buck, wedding.
I watched it.
You watched it?
Yep.
Where'd you watch it? Were you at home?
I was at home.
Hungover.
I was.
You were.
I think I look, I may have been enjoying a bowl of meagering. I may not have been.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Was it that dire?
Yeah.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Might not have been. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
But I might have been.
You might have been. Sounds like you were. Sounds like you're in a nuts deep in a bowl of meagering.
2 packets.
2 packs. Oh, you got to.
All the fillings.
You got to do 2 packs. You got to have everything in there.
All the trimmings.
Do you put a full chili in there?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, that's fucking bold.
2.
2 full chilies.
Well, 2 full chilies for 2 packets.
Yeah, but like you're going to blow your dick off with the chilies. That's spicy chili.
No, it's not that spicy.
Meagering chili is hot chili.
Nah, it's not. It's not.
Well, okay. Each to their own.
Each to their own.
So you're there on the couch, meagering,
And,
busted, broken man.
it's bucketing rain. I'll tell you what, shout out to the faithful on the hill who just, that's the big lift.
Yeah, that is. Well, that's a real fucking fan. You wouldn't see Parramatta fans doing that.
No way,
Those
mate.
weak losers.
No way. You'd never see it.
No.
Chris Dorney, friend of the show, he was out there doing his best.
Was he? Good
Which I
on him,
respect.
Dorney. Yeah, of course.
I respect the hell out of that. Look, we're just sort of, we're on and we're off. We're on and we're off. Like, we just couldn't, like, DCE, like, I love you, brah, but wasn't your best game.
No. Tough start to the season.
Struggled at the start. Like, we'd get things together and then they just fall apart again. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what? Well, that's at least positive though, in the sense that
there was flashes.
if I can put spin on this in the no spin zone, if we're putting things together a little bit and then just failing to fucking finish, it's the start of the season. Maybe we're just coming together.
Wet weather football's tough. We dropped a lot of footy in their 20. Like, you know,
They didn't pump us,
and pump us.
which I know is a sad thing to
They
say.
scored a try at the end, which sort of got it up to
26-12, I think, the end score was. So it was really 20 to
It
12.
was like 20 to 12. Call it 20 to 12.
Yeah.
With a nothing try at the end.
Call it fucking 16-12.
Call it 16-12. They missed a couple of kicks.
You know what I mean?
16-12.
Couple of drop balls.
A couple of drop balls. Like, there was a try here or there that shouldn't have been a
Mate,
lady.
it basically,
Call it 12 all.
it went to Golden Point.
Call it 12 all. Call it 12 all. Honestly, go back and watch the game.
Go back and watch the
basically
game.
12 all.
It was essentially a Golden Point thriller.
It was basically a Golden Point thriller. Except for a couple of
For a couple of
small differences throughout the game, which added up to
minor things that added up to like another 14 points.
We were there or thereabouts against one of the best sides, premiership favourite, I think, maybe, if not very close to. And we had a crack. It's just the systems are coming together. There's some small differences. Lachlan Croker played okay.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Good.
Which I liked, which buoyed my spirit
fuck yeah.
and
Well,
my
I mean,
soul.
give Lachlan a couple of weeks in the bloody hooker's position before we start judging him too harshly, you know. Obviously, not
Dylan Walker's still not loving one, I don't think.
No, Dill's not a one.
Not a one. He's a centre.
He's a centre.
He's a
What
centre.
about there's someone in the fucking there's a new guy who played a couple of games last year, and I apologise to him greatly for Morgan Harper. Or Morgan, I think it's Morgan Harper.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if I think he can play fullback. He's like rangy, fast motherfucker. I think he played maybe in the centres of the wing last year, but like I feel like that's what you need a bit more at fullback.
Bit rangier.
Rangier, faster. Dill's got some toe, but Dill more of like a hard contact sort of.
Yeah, he
operator.
likes PCM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He
He's a
likes
bit of-
taking on the line,
Yeah.
ripping and tearing. It's a lot of running back there. Maybe too much for Dill. But look,
We'll see.
It is what it is. Marty Tapau played real well.
That's what you need from Marty because he's now the head of the forward pack with Jake, but like is a big bopper. He needs to be fucking PCM and his dick off.
I liked what Marty did.
Good.
I liked his energy. I liked his vibe.
Marty has to go the big fucking
early
lift.
mistake, but after that he was ripping and
Marty's
tearing.
got a mistake in him. We all know that. Marty
That's fine.
knows it.
Yeah, but a lot of big boys up front make mistakes from time to time.
Certainly.
Because they're too focused on PCM.
Yeah, and that's what you want. But I think it's more when you're not focused enough on PCMs, you make your mistakes because you're trying to do that flash. I need my big boys PCM focused, PCMs first, everything else second. Once you've got maybe 60, 70 PCMs in the half, then I'm happy for you to start looking for the offload. But you got to knock up some PCMs before you start fucking around with that.
Got to go forward before we can go sideways.
Correct. Now, while we're on Manly, prior to the league, Golden Point thriller against the Rabbitohs. We've re-signed Desley Hazlitt for a 2-year extension.
Saw that.
Love that. Some people saying there's performance clauses. I'm not here to focus on the negative. Performance clauses, I assume, not necessarily written into everyone's contract, but if you start performing like shit in any job, they're probably going to start looking at you.
Mate, look, if there aren't performance clauses in contracts, there fucking should be. I tell you who needed performance clauses, the Broncos for Seabold instead
Yeah.
of giving him 5 years with an option
Correct.
in favour for 6.
Everyone's like, oh, this is, like Kenty was blown up. I'm like, Kenty, this is what the Broncos should have done, bruh.
Bruh, why wouldn't you put performance clauses in? If you lose 10 on the trot, what? You shouldn't be sacked? Is that what you're telling me?
And then Kenty said on Triple M, he was like, now he's trying to coach to save his job. I'm like, aren't you always kind of doing that? Like, obviously you don't like sitting there thinking about your job.
What's the difference between coaching to save your job and coaching to win? What's the difference?
Well, one is focused on winning.
No, they're both on winning.
Exactly.
They're both focused on winning.
That's what I mean. Like, it's the same thing.
That doesn't make sense.
If you win, if you focus on winning, your job's safe. So it's kind of, it's like...
Doesn't make any sense.
They're wrapped up with each other.
No, mate. That
but he was
just sells
saying
papers.
he was saying that
doesn't make any sense.
He was then like, now it's focused on winning. He might have just been like, Tommy Turbo, just take your time off, get healthy, get strong, then come back. Now he might be thinking, fuck, I got to rush him back. I'm like, do you think that,
it's not his call?
But also, do you think that Desley Hasler, of two-time premiership winning fame, basically won the 2013 grand final, not being there with the team he built, Desi's team, basically a 4-time premiership coach, Des Hasler, is going to compromise his prized fucking bull by trying to bring him back a couple of weeks early because that might save his career? Tommy Turbo come back 2 weeks early is going to save his career?
Tell you what doesn't, bringing him back 2 weeks early, him getting injured halfway through
Correct.
the game, and then you fucked all season.
Correct.
Like, use your brain, Kenty. Use your brain.
Crazy.
Also, if the physios and the doctors are like, he can't play, bruh, then he ain't playing.
No, they're not going to get, just let him play anyway on one hamstring. Or Des maybe goes, get Eddie on the blower.
And I'm here. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm willing to offer up my right.
One more positive Manly story for all of you fucks out there. Shiny Josh Schuster of emergent throbber fame re-signed till 2024. Yep. Everyone, you're going to lose him. You're not playing him. Josh wants to be around that team.
He wants to be around.
Josh wants to be around. We've locked him up so you can all piss off.
Loves the club.
Josh here till 2024.
Book it.
That's Manly. We roll on to Dragons, Cowboys.
Didn't watch it.
Why?
Well, ask yourself why I didn't watch that
Why
game.
didn't we watch it?
Why didn't I watch that game? Why didn't I watch it?
Dave, why didn't we watch the game?
I don't know. Why didn't you watch the game?
Because it was a pile of shit team against a pile of shit team.
Yep.
With the greatest respect.
If I'd watched it, I would have gone to sleep. And I didn't feel like going to sleep at 7 o'clock.
No.
I wanted to be up. I wanted to do other things.
You had things to do.
So I fucked that right off.
Now, I had the Cowboys to win. They didn't win.
Same.
Dragons won.
Dragons won. Todd Payton, you'd be like, ooh, Devo, tough start.
Yeah, you would be. Todd wouldn't be happy with that. Todd chirped his biggest player a week before, and then his biggest player broke his hand or some shit in training.
Yeah, broke his hand. Hand broken.
Was it broken hand?
Yeah.
Tamalolo?
Yeah.
And Appy did it as well, didn't he? Appy Coruscant broke his hand at training.
Tamalolo's hand's broken. Don't know why I did that.
That was fucking weird.
But it is broken.
No, but it is broken. Thrown me right off. Yeah. So Cowboys no good. Dragons surprising. Again, didn't watch the game. So
Care, not going to talk about it.
I assume they did well.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm giving it. I
Great.
did watch the Roosters towel up the Tigers.
Now, this is what I said on our...
People were like, the Tigers are a chance.
There
I'm
was
like,
Michael.
In what world
Michael.
are they a chance?
On About Even.
In what world are they a chance? You've lost your mind.
On our fucking...
Critically
acclaimed new punting show About Even, Michael Pride, who's the professional gambler who isn't that good this week, he basically had the Tigers. Well, he had Roosters 1-12. I was like, bruh, you are off your fucking head.
1-12. Thought it was going to be tight footy. I was like, oh my, Davey, what do you do for a living? Exactly?
Yeah, are you a professional punter?
I was told you're a professional punter. Thought you'd be able to read the room a little bit.
Yeah, no. Roosters 13 plus. Brett Morris anytime try scorer.
Scored hat tricks, another hat trick, back-to-back hatties.
Yeah,
absolutely killing it.
Back-to-back hattie. And
Age mean nothing to that old bull.
Tedesco killing it. Like their team, it's hard to hate the Roosters because, it's easy to hate them, but it's hard that I like them.
It's hard to hate the players.
Yeah, I like the players.
I like the players. I don't like the club.
So do you want to hear some crazy stats about their first two games?
Yes,
so
please.
Brett Morris has scored more points this season than the bottom four teams.
combined or just
No. Each of them.
I don't know who those teams are, so that's fine.
Tigers, Bulldogs, Cowboys, and one more team that is coming dead last.
Yeah, you don't want to get sacked.
And then together between Brett Morris and James Tedesco, they've scored more points than all but 3 teams, including the Roosters.
Fucking hell, that's pretty good.
They've scored 44 points between them if they've got 11 tries. And the only teams that have scored more are the Knights, the Panthers, and the Roosters.
That's wild stuff.
That's good stats, Dave.
Yeah.
Good from you, mate.
That's good stats there, Dave.
Good to
Very
see
good
you on the ball,
stats,
bro.
I was
yeah.
up all night last night doing the equations and the addition and subtraction.
He
in
looks
my
like he's
head.
had no sleep.
Yeah, Dave, you look like
you're on no
you are
sleep.
actually you look like you've had just a large weekend. You look defeated.
That's what happens when I
I
try
saw
doing
him
maths.
walking in here because he didn't drive up here to park. So
Well,
No,
did,
no,
but there was no park.
I was sitting in my car watching him drive around and say no to parks that are like you can use.
No, because last week I got parked in because I parked in someone else's spot.
someone parked you
there's
in.
Yeah.
but there's names written on.
But there was only one spot without a name, and I think Tom was already in it.
No, there's a couple without names.
There's a couple out there that
okay.
you missed.
So wait, so you got parked in?
Yeah, but luckily the spot behind me was free, so I could reverse out. But if there was a car parked in the bay behind me, I would have been stuck.
So someone just parked across you and was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, literally, teed me essentially. Yeah.
Hectic.
It's on for young and old up here.
Yeah. Well, when we were doing the thing with Kempy the other day, the chick came in with a machete. It was fucking
It was
intense.
edge.
But I saw Dave, so obviously he didn't park there because he's now scared to get teed in. But he was just walking up in the rain, just with his hoodie on, I was like, oh, Dave looks like he's had a big weekend.
Yeah.
Have you, mate? You all right?
It was, it wasn't too
want a
bad.
hug?
Obviously not a great start on Thursday night. Saturday night, I bartended, so I only started drinking after that, which was never good because on Sunday I had to get up for a family brunch early and then go.
How early?
I had to get up at 9:30. But I mean, when you go to bed at 4,
Yeah,
it's,
no, that's fair.
It adds up. And then I went straight from there to watch the Giants play the Saints at Spotless Stadium.
Why the fuck did you go there?
A mate of mine from Melbourne is down here, and he's a big Saints fan. So he
Piss
took
and
me.
rain?
The rain wasn't too bad. We were undercover. It was actually a really good game. It was close.
Who
and
won?
Saints got there in the end.
Okay.
But it was kind of back and forth the whole game. But fuck, those games gone for a long time, and Homebush is fucking far away.
That's the only thing for me. I'd be just like, I'm not going. Sorry,
Yeah.
dude. It's Spotless. Hungover on a Sunday. You've been up since 9. You're trying to swallow a yawn there, Eddie. I can see your eyes watering.
It's tough.
You would have been better off yawning. You were trying to swallow it. I was
I
like,
didn't think it would be a big one.
you look like you're in pain, dude. Your eyes were watering as she looked at me. I'm like, I can see you yawning, bro. It's all right. Let it out. Don't swallow the yawn, dude. Anyway.
Yeah, I've had a few of those today.
Oh, good for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, buddy.
Welcome.
Thank you. Great
And
to
good,
be
good
here.
Dioring.
Thank you.
Um,
I'm going to go back to sleep now.
yeah, you
guys
get back
enjoy
to
the rest
sleep
of the
in your
show.
chair.
Yeah.
Set an alarm for half an hour.
Yeah, Roosters pump the Tigers. Tigers look like poo.
They look like poo. What do you expect? I'm sorry. I don't come on here to bash the Tigers. It's not
No.
it's not my jam. It's not my MO.
No.
I play it as I see it.
Yeah.
And I see shit.
Their fullback's good, though. I rate the fullback. Dane Laurie. He's a new
he's
throbber
in my
from
Supercoach team.
from
He's
Penrith.
sick.
He's a gun, dude.
Yeah, he's
he
good.
got shown up in defence a couple of times. Brett Morris's first try, I think, where he just fucking in and awayed him, made him look pretty shitty. But his attacking play, fast feet, stepping, blah blah blah. You're like, oh, this guy's got a bit about him.
Yeah, he's got a bit about him for sure.
Not so much for everyone else. Did you see Luke Brooks of Tigers half fame of no finals in 150 games? It was his 150th game. Congratulations to Luke.
Well done.
Couldn't break the banner to get on the field. He got caught up in the banner.
Sometimes, there's synergy between careers
And
the
banners.
ability to break a banner. Now, I'll leave that up to the listener.
Well, that banner is 8th position on the ladder, and he
that banner's
couldn't
finals
break it.
footy
Yeah.
or success or
rings or anything.
rings or anything. You can use whatever you'd like.
Well, the
Whatever
banner
he hasn't
the
got.
banner is the barrier between 9th and 8th position, and then beyond that is everything that finals has to offer.
Glory.
Luke had to run around the banner.
That's right.
Now, what the fuck are they making these banners out of, though? Like, with the greatest respect,
Well-
Luke. Now, either Luke is very either Luke isn't cut out for that banner life, or they're making I thought they should make banners out of toilet paper.
Well, it may well have been a wet weather banner.
Okay.
I don't know. I've thought about this a fair bit because going down to the Storm games, they have a banner every home game. You know, different thing. I think they take it
It's
from
an
AFL
AFL thing.
Exactly. And when they make the banners, it's from like, I don't know, toilet paper type material. You can almost see through it. When
You've
it's
been
in
right up
colour.
close to him, haven't you, in your time as a ball boy?
Well, but I was
Have you
never
ever gone through one?
No, because I was never ball boy at the home games, and they wouldn't have banners at away games. I was only ball boy in Sydney. But I've noticed the Sydney teams, when they do banners, it's like glossy paper, like from a magazine kind of thing.
Trying to run through
Not
a
like
magazine.
in Melbourne, where it's like, toilet paper, like almost cellophane. So yeah, the Sydney
How
teams.
does that cellophane stuff stand up to the wet though?
I think it's okay as long as
I think
it's not too
cellophane's
windy.
good in the wet because it's plastic, but toilet paper would just...
Well, it's like a more, materially toilet paper, not so papery. More like, almost like a, I don't know, like
high-end toilet paper or a Viva wipe.
no, almost like a flag, like what a flag is made of, like that kind of.
Well, that's not fucking paper, David.
Yeah, but it's
A flag? Dude, that's pretty
no, maybe
durable.
not that tough.
Flags are fucking
Maybe not
impossible
that
to run
tough.
through.
You wouldn't be able to run through a flag. No way.
Crepe paper, I think, is what I was thinking of.
Crate paper.
Crepe paper.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, I don't
But
know how
also,
that sticks
yeah.
up to water.
If it's wet...
Look, anyway.
I've seen- yeah.
Do you know the one for the grand final? I think it was like Collingwood fucking someone, and it just blew away in the wind before the team even got there, and the people who organised it were in tears on the field. Because I think it's outsourced every year. It's like, oh, this supporters group gets to make it this year, and theirs just blew away in the wind before the fucking team had even run out, and they were in tears in the field, and it was like, oh,
Kidding
no.
me? That's awful.
That's awful.
But also, you had one job.
And that brings us obviously
To
Chad Townsend.
Chad Townsend. We obviously...
Who had one job as well.
Chad had one
Talk
job.
about one jobs. Chad had one job.
Chad had one job. He was kicker.
That was to kick a conversion.
Well,
or a penalty.
He missed 3.
Or 4.
He was 3 of 4. And to say that they were kickable would be an understatement. 2 of them were particularly kickable.
Yeah, 2 of them were pretty pedestrian.
And two of them were the game on the line.
The penalty at the end from the sideline to send it to overtime, which...
It wasn't even the sideline, bro. It was kickable.
That one that you showed at the end,
Yeah.
was that the conversion or the penalty?
That was the penalty.
That was the penalty.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't that far.
No, dude. And there was I think a sideline conversion that was tough, and then there was another conversion which was not tough, and then actually I'm trying to think. No, so there was a conversion that wasn't tough. Then there was a conversion to send it to Golden Point that wasn't tough, and then there was a penalty that wasn't tough.
Yep.
For a kicker, if you're a kicker.
Yeah. If your job is to kick.
Now, this isn't my thoughts, but we did put it up on it was on my story, our Instagram story. It was me just watching it at home because I know he'd been kicking so bad. I was like, I either want to document the win or another miss, and I mean, it was another miss, but a lot of Cronulla fans reached out to us in the DMs off the back of that. Some saying that, with the greatest respect, they feel like Chad might be getting to a stage in his career that would see him better served as a starting half in a Super League side than for the Cronulla Sharks. So I don't know. That's not me saying that because
No,
I don't
that's
give a
not.
shit about the Sharks.
No, that's not you saying that. It's an interesting point. Look, it's tough. And there'll be a lot of reflection for Chad, no doubt, over the coming days and weeks and months and years.
Yeah.
But, this week in particular, there'll be a lot of reflection.
He can't kick anymore. That's yips. That's broken him mentally.
Yeah.
The kicking side of things, right?
Yeah, he's yipped up.
He's yipped now. You don't
But
go with Chad.
I mean, he was slipping and sliding. The boot was coming off the side. Like, the ball was coming off the side of his boot. It was like, it was
comedic. It was so bad. He also, when he looks like he's trying to creep up on the ball when he's taking. He looks like he's trying to scare
You don't need
it.
to surprise it, bro.
The ball doesn't need to surprise. It is not a sentient being. It doesn't know.
He almost acts like if he's too aggressive,
The ball's going to realise
it'll realise and then misbehave.
freak out. Yeah, no. I think someone needs to let Chad know that ball is, for all intents and purposes, dead. Like it's not alive.
Ball's dead, bro. It doesn't know you're coming.
The ball's
It's
not
scared
alive.
of
You don't need to creep up on it. In fact, I think you need to be more aggressive and forceful and confident because he walks in, he creeps in.
But having said
nervous.
that, even though the ball's dead, it picks up on your energy.
Well, it can certainly pick up that Chad is trying to creep up on it. It's like, bro, just kick me. I'm a ball.
Just kick me. I
Kick
want to
me.
be
I'm a
kicked.
ball. Yeah, kick me. So
love
the
being
ball.
kicked.
I know we said the ball was dead, but it is conscious. But it's more like it picks up on energies.
Yeah.
And it's saying you're being a soft cock. Just come and smack me.
Yeah. You got to be confident.
Yeah.
You got to be alpha.
He does not look confident before he kicks any time.
No.
Or he didn't last night.
And that's why they lost. I mean, they stole the 2 points there in some respects, the Raiders.
Well, they were up 12-0, then they shat the bed.
Mate, the Sharkies came home with a...
Wet sail does. I don't get it. I don't get wet sail.
Well,
Can you
if
please?
the sail's wet, then it's...
That would be difficult. I would have thought.
No, but from my understanding, it's like if you're coming home strong and fast and your sail, there's water blowing up against your sail and, you've just screamed in and that's what I think. But I will do all that now.
Is that you just completely
say
making that up? Like in the sense of like, this is just what you think it could be?
He
To
made
put
that
some
up.
credentials to it, my uncle's done 3 Sydney to Hobart, so...
Well, that's cool, but has he told you that? Or is that just like
Maybe.
going, my uncle did, like my uncle did Sydney to Hobarts as well, but I don't pretend to fucking know, starboard and port.
One's left and one's right.
I know that, but I don't know which one's which. Now, coming home with a wet sail, Dave,
Coming home with the wet sail.
please don't be what you thought it was. That'll make me way happier.
Is it even a saying?
Do you even have an uncle?
It's coming.
It's all right.
Internet's a bit slow.
No, we got time.
We don't have all day, but we've got some.
We've got some time. How are you, Dave? You good?
Yeah, can't complain.
What are you showing us the screen for there, bro?
Well, because I'm just showing you.
trying to
It's still
just
loading.
prove yourself.
It's
Mate, we
still
know
loading.
you're not a liar.
Yeah. Okay.
Do we have to turn to Matt the water boy who seems to have more reliable internet over there?
Tony Superior.
Yeah. Look at this battle of the producers here. Matt's in there. You can hear him typing
Who's
away.
quicker? Who's quicker? Who's getting a pay rise?
Matt's got the priority internet.
getting the pay rise?
hasn't
Here we go. Coming home with a wet sail. Matt looks like he's
Who's
already
getting the
looking
pay
at
rise?
it. Here we go. Coming home with that wet sail.
To make swift progress to victory, like a ship with sails wetted in order to keep close to the wind.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, we probably didn't pick that up on microphone, but what
Well-
the fuck does it mean still? I don't get it.
Well, no, because I think if you wet the sail, does the wind affect it more? It gets from what.
So what?
Matt
They're
just
saying that a
said.
sail's more effective if it's wet?
Matt, who is Dave's superior, who's
Kempy's
off
official producer.
mic, he just said that if you have a wet sail, it keeps you closer to the wind. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Is your internet still not come up yet, David?
No, that first page came up, but it didn't give me much. But this one, hang on.
I'm surprised that the first thing doesn't give you at all.
Yeah. What does it mean? Like why? Origin.
Well, so
Explanation.
people think that wetting down the canvas of sails increase the speed of the ship.
There we go.
I don't know why, or if
That's
the
fine,
If the
though.
physics or maths works.
If you know
out
why,
there.
let us know.
Let us know. But that's all we need to know. Coming home with a wet sail always to me felt like that doesn't make sense.
It says a wet sail holds more of the wind than a dry one.
There you go.
Which
There
I
you
guess
go.
makes sense. Because if you're wearing wet clothes, you can feel the wind a lot more than I guess if you're
sure.
just blowing.
Well,
I'm
it's,
cool with that.
It's more dense. The
Yes,
sail becomes
yeah.
denser.
Yeah. All right.
Makes sense. Perfect. Thanks for coming.
Right.
Thank you, Matt. And to a lesser extent, Dave. So, yeah, the Sharks were coming home with a wet sail.
Yep. And they didn't win.
They didn't
That's
win, though,
basically-
because Chad can't kick.
That's the long and the short of it. That's the round.
Yeah, that's the round. That's rugby league.
That's rugby league.
Eddie, before we wrap rugby league, obviously, there is a round coming up next weekend, as there will be one after that. One round is followed by another round. That's round 3 next weekend. Manly play the DMC Dragons. Now, obviously, we expect nothing less than a famous win and a pumping of those losers when we go down to Cogra or wherever the fuck it is, Wynn Stadium, actually, I think. But there has been a bet thrown our way by none other than former premiership winning half and Dragons legend Jamie Soward. Now, obviously, times are tough for Sowie in the sense that he's a great of the club, and now he's seeing them just in an absolute rabble. Even though they did win on the weekend, but
A rabble nonetheless.
a rabble nonetheless. Sowie wants to have a case of blokes on the outcome of this game. Now, obviously, I just snap that up as soon as I hear that there's like a case of blokes to be had. I'm like, yeah, we'll fucking win that. Thank you very much. Also won a case of blokes on the weekend off a dribbler who gave a Manly an 18-point head start against South. Silly. But then I said, don't worry about it, bro. You don't have to give them to us because we have blokes coming out of our assholes in the best possible way. Anyway, Sowie, you're on, bruh. Sweet and Soured podcast is obviously where Sowie does all of his best work these days.
Yeah.
I'm excited, obviously, to get a case of blokes. I don't know what... I guess he'll just, mail them to us? Do we get him to send them here?
I think you should drop them off.
He might have to drop them off.
Don't mail them, mate. Be a man. Drop them off. Shake
Walk
hands.
in.
Look us in the eye. Accept defeat. Be better.
Yeah, because the Dragons, they're no good, right? We understand that.
Manly's not going 0-3. No way.
Doesn't happen.
Won't happen. Can't happen.
There's not a world where that happens.
Can't happen. Won't happen.
We'll pump you.
Won't happen.
So Manly 13 plus against the Dragons. Put that one in your little fucking notebooks.
Pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. But that's rugby league. Fuck you, Dragons. The Olympic surfing team from Australia is called the Irukandjis.
Yeah.
That is a small jellyfish that resides
Fucks you up.
Resides on sort of the northern shores of Australia, northeast coast.
Yeah.
Cairns, Northern Territory.
around the Great Barrier Reef and
Yeah.
Great Australian.
Apparently, I didn't realize this. In summer,
Barrier Reef, right.
in summer up around there, it's like you actually can't swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Because they fucking get you.
Yeah. So my grandparents used to live up in Port Douglas, hence the Queensland heritage, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But there's proper fur, and it's some weird rule which works out to be every month that has an R in it, which is not for that sake. That's just when it lines up weirdly. And every month, which is like 9 months out of the year, there's a little net around all the beaches there. And like you can get really fucked by those jellyfish.
So they can't get through the nets though, is that what you're telling me?
No, not apparently.
I thought, now this is, you might have to deal with this
So
one. Get your
October,
fingers ready.
November.
Yeah, it's pretty much like May.
April, May, June, July.
Yeah.
So May, June,
April?
July, August.
Yeah, May, June,
Oh, sorry,
July,
there's an R.
August.
Sorry, yeah, May.
Are the
June,
only
July,
months you can swim.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's probably better and worse some seasons, but that's the month that they have the net at the beach, which is kind of a sign to be
So that's what they're named after, the surfers, Irukandji. I thought the Irukandji, and I actually had to Dior this on the weekend, but I don't know what the real name is. I thought that was the little thing that swam up your pee hole in like, in like Amazon rivers and shit.
Why would they name it after that?
So I was shocked. I was like, that seems like a weird one. I was like,
I heard about that. Is that true?
No, that's true. There's like a something.
Is it true though?
It's called the kangaroo.
Is there one? Is it called an Irukandji though? Is there anything like that?
So you're telling me
if there's some
it
other
can
names.
swim up a stream of urine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an incredible swimmer.
Yeah.
The power would be overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, I think it doesn't necessarily. You don't have to be pissing for it to get up there, though. I think that like you could have. I think it can like find your pee hole. Again, I'm not sure though. But is it just not Irukandji or anything? Or
It says kangaroo.
Kangaroo. Okay.
Kangaroo.
Yeah, but
And it swims up streams of urine.
So what it does though, Eddie,
Or does it just swim in when you're in the water?
like an arrow, how they've got like the spikes going out, so it's like you can get in, but you can't pull it out because the spikes dig in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
It's also been called a toothpick fish because it is, that thin.
That sounds etch as hell.
You have to be as
That
thin as
makes
a
me
toothpick to swim in a pee hole, right?
Wow, that's right. And well, not the sheriffs. But
Except for the sheriff. No, he could have a barracuda swim up his pee hole.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem.
Not a problem.
Where was I? Where were we?
The Australian surfing team, Irukandji. Great
I think
name.
it's a sick name.
Yeah, it's cool.
All the best to the Irukandji, Tokyo this year. They'll rip and tear.
Yeah. Julian Wilson, Sally Fitzgibbon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's dope. I like it. And they don't swim up pee holes. Just don't get it twisted.
They sting you and put you into cardiac
They sting
arrest.
you and they'll,
They're deadly in the water, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick.
That's awesome.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Didn't realize though that they were so overwhelming. They just shut down beaches in the time when you want to swim at the beach the most.
Yeah. And apparently, like up north, that's when you want to.
Well, yeah, it's
So hot.
Fucking
and
hot.
you can't swim in the ocean. It's fucking brutal.
at least though being
That isn't known enough, I don't think.
No.
It's like a thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember going up there the first time I went to Port Douglas, and I was like, "Oh, what? No one swims here?" And they're like, "No, not now." The bloody Irukandji here. I was like, that is fucked. So you basically have to have a pull up here, otherwise it's like fucking torture.
Yeah. It's so hectic.
It's hot as shit up there, dude. Anyway.
So they got stingers on their bell, on their tentacles, and they're able to fire stingers from the tips of their tentacles.
These things sound like fucking aliens.
The sting has been described as 100 times as potent as that of a cobra and 1,000 times stronger than a tarantula.
And they can fire them at you.
Yeah.
What the
These things are not to be fucked with. Whoever said it was beta has lost their mind.
Who said it was beta?
Someone in the P's and D's group being like, this is the beta name.
Oh
and
my
everyone's
God.
like, bruh,
hey, have you
lost it."
looked into Irukandji, you
Look
fucking
into him,
idiot?
bro. Look into him.
Crazy that, like, I wonder where it sits on, like, the coastline where it's like below here, no Irukandji is still a bit like surely some float down on the fucking tide. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, you're saying where do they stop?
yeah. Because
Well,
that's something I'd want to know.
We
Or
don't get
like,
them down in New South Wales.
no, I know, but I'm saying like you'd want to have like a kilometre or two of like, don't even waste your time swimming here because it's in like the Irukandji sort of flow on zone where a couple could.
You don't want to be in the flowing zone. I'm hearing you. I think you just need to make smart decisions in the surf.
Yeah, you're right.
I've always said that.
You have said that. Shout out to Irukandji. Shout out to Australian surfers. Shout out to the things that swim up your pee hole in the Amazon.
Because they'll get you.
They'll get you, and they won't get out. Olympics.
Tom, Brisbane moves one step closer to hosting the 2032 Olympics. Now, I didn't know originally how I felt about this because I'm a Sydney Olympics purist. Why? Well, because it was the best Olympics of all time.
Yep.
It was our Olympics.
Great time in all of our
It
lives.
was you and I, our Olympics.
Yes,
It was the
definitely.
nation's Olympics. It was the city's Olympics.
Yep.
But I'm not against Brisbane ripping and tearing and getting this thing off the ground.
I don't mind it. Good for the economy, Eddie, and I've always been economy first sort of an operator.
Economy first operator. But apparently they've moved from like one stage to the next stage. And the way they do the Olympics now is because they're so fucking expensive and you've had the disasters in Athens and Rio and shit. Apparently the Olympic Committee works with a city that wants to host it, gets them to a point where they're like, okay, your plans get into a pretty good place. They move them to the next stage where they negotiate and they basically just put one city forward and the other nation cities vote yes or no. So if you get to that point, you're pretty much like Brisbane's pretty much guaranteed. They're not going up against anyone.
Ah, okay. Well, that's cool.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gone to the days of like you spent fucking tens of millions of dollars at bidding
But
for
isn't
the
it,
Olympics and then get voting against, heaps of other host cities.
and wasn't it always like corrupt as fuck? It was like,
super corrupt, fucking disaster, full on nightmare.
what happened at Athens to make it a cat? You said that.
Mate, nothing, like the whole, like basically none of the facilities are used.
Oh,
Cost
now
them billions and billions.
Yeah. But that seems to be like everywhere.
Well, that's the point. They're like, that's such a waste of money. Like
Right.
Rio's, like one of the stadiums they used in Rio for the soccer, there's no seats left. They've been completely ripped up and raided. Nothing's used. The golf course wasn't used again after the Olympics, like falling into disrepair. Just complete waste of money.
Yeah, right.
Complete
Build it,
waste of
and then
money.
you just got these things like just falling apart.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to be able to get your money back somehow. So they've structured the Olympics differently. Anyway, Brisbane, they're ripping and a tearing. They want to get it.
I like
Get it
that.
going.
I like that.
I don't mind
and
that
it's good.
from
It's in
Brisbane.
Australia. We've already had Sydney. I don't
But
have it
32
affecting my bloody.
32 years after Sydney as well, which is a fucking wig out.
Yeah, well, that makes you feel sick a little bit.
Doesn't that make you feel sick to your stomach?
Yeah,
Good Lord.
because we'll be in our 40s at that point.
Yeah, I'll be 41. Will I be 41? I
Well,
will be
32
41.
plus however old you were when the Olympics were
I'll
on.
be 41.
Yeah.
Hectic. You'll be like 45.
Yeah, dude, I'll basically
You'll basically be 50.
I'll be on the 12th, 13th hole.
So it's a while away.
Yeah.
But congrats to Brisbane.
Well done, guys and girls. This weekend, Eddie, there's some UFC on. It's a big card. Sadly, Volkanovski of Australian world champion fame has had to pull out against Brian Ortega because he got COVID. Fuck COVID.
Poor bastard. Didn't have it when he left Australia.
Didn't have it when he landed.
Didn't have it when he landed. Then got it somehow
got it.
in quarantine. I don't know.
But the main one is Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou, and I am so wet for that. So wet for that.
Big, thick boys.
Yeah, Stipe beat him the first time. If you don't know, you're obviously not an MMA guy or girl, and fuck you, you should be. But Stipe beat him the first time. Francis was sort of young in the game then. Many expect that. Well, after that loss, he basically just went on a tear and just ended fucking people for the next few years. He's now back there. I think he'll win only because...
You reckon Ngannou wins?
Well, like Stipe's probably not going to knock him out, right? So it's going to be like I just think that Francis is probably... Well, it's a war of attrition, but Francis will win by a knockout if he wins, right? So it's like he just needs to land on him.
If he can land one punch, it's over. You know when like a flush one, you can't withstand it.
Because like Daniel Cormier knocked out Stipe.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that hard of a punch. It was a good punch, but it wasn't that hard of a punch. Francis doesn't even need to land flush. He just like can do a grazing blow.
Hardest puncher in the world, punters and dribblers.
And if you haven't heard of his backstory, or if you haven't heard him talk about his story, I cannot recommend enough listening to Joe Rogan's interview with him. And he just talks about getting out of Cameroon as a refugee. Like he escaped and having to cross the sea between Morocco and Spain. Is that correct? And he tried 7 or 8 times. To cross, and got captured and taken back, and had like fucking shit going with the boat. Like was living in a forest. He was like just living in a forest with all he had was a blanket and a piece of plastic. And he said that was like the most valuable things, because the blanket obviously kept you warm and the plastic kept you dry. And then police had come up into the mountains to try and like fucking get to get you, like because you were trying to cross borders and shit. And you just have to run and take your blanket and your plastic with you, but sometimes you wouldn't have enough time, and the police would come and burn your blanket and your plastic, so you were fucked to try and like get you out. And he was like, you would just keep running. You just couldn't stop running. You basically had to run. You had to be like willing to just keep fucking running, because the cops would get to a point where they go, fuck it, we're not chasing you. But anyway, there's way more to the story. He was working in sand mines when he was 10.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Just crazy. And he's just a humongous dude, genetic freak. But anyway, they're fighting for the title. I couldn't recommend going and listening to a podcast more, to be honest. Fucking interesting. Anyway, I'm excited for the card, Eddie. Excited for the card. But that's kind of it for UFC. I don't know.
Bam Bam got a good win.
Bam Bam. I tipped him. KO.
Inside first round?
First round, yeah.
Sick. Good to see.
Yeah, 49 seconds.
Bro.
Back-to-back wins. Hopefully he can
Moving
start to move up the heavyweight division. That'd be cool. Shout out to Bam Bam. Outside of UFC, Eddie, I did want to bring something up. This only happened to us last week. The season is over currently for the Thick Ropes County 11, the most famous cricket side in the land, in no small part because of the podcast with which we sort of share all the news and the stories about Thick Ropes. We got some new gear on the last week, Eddie, which we've all been very excited about. Some new pants. We're obviously honeydew melon in colour. New pants, new shirts.
Yeah, you look nice.
They're good. Got some baggy melons now as well. Imagine my surprise when the skipper, Chica, sends around the photos of the new merch, and I see that it is bespeckled in sponsors. Yuli's Brews, Batuta Bitter, fucking the Nelson Hotel,
Diamantina
Podcast Network. Shout out to Diamantina. Zero Hello Sport podcast sponsorship anywhere.
Well, you just mean the sponsor. I mean the brand that put
the club on the map.
That's right.
Now, I would assume that all those sponsors paid to be there, right? And that's how it should be. Feel like we weren't even given the opportunity.
We just bought $1,000 Freddie Glory Hole.
Fatty
Glory Hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just spent $1,000 on a glory hole. We can sponsor.
We can afford it.
Yeah.
We can afford it. Clearly. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to get the option.
Yeah. And we would have taken the option.
100% we would have taken the option. We would have taken the option and run. And I just think there would have been a lot of nice synergy there.
Fucking oath there would have been.
The brand that put you on the map is now on your back. Or your bum. Or your
wherever.
pocket,
We would have taken
leg.
anywhere.
Doesn't matter. We would have taken any spot on the board.
Look, it was one of those ones where I had to try and temper my fury, disappointment, sadness.
You were disappointed.
Because obviously I had to be up and about. Wow, great new gear. Hold on a second. Who are all these brands that have never fucking, proudly repped the fucking Thick Ropes County at all? And they're now all over the bloody thing.
Disappointing.
So listen, we've been disrespected. We're going to be bigger men and women about it and just get on with the show. Thick ropes still mean a lot to us as a podcast.
We just get on with it.
But we wouldn't be telling the truth. We'd be lying to the pun and the dribbler to pretend like there wasn't a bit of fucking, upheaval in the club at present.
Look, there's dissent.
There's a bit of dissent. There's, it's not all happy.
No.
For a club that, hangs its hat on happiness, the last week's been a little bit tumultuous.
It's been tough. Been a tough week in the club's history.
Yep.
Could you two just not talk anymore?